We live in a world that is always talking. Our phones buzz, notifications pop up, music plays everywhere. There is always something trying to get our attention. It feels normal, doesn't it? This constant noise. But what if this noise is actually a distraction? What if it is keeping us from hearing something truly important? Something deep inside ourselves? This is an invitation to explore that quiet place. I remember a time when my life was filled with this noise. I was busy, always running from one thing to another. My mind felt like a crowded marketplace. So many thoughts, so many worries, so many plans. I felt overwhelmed, but I didn't know how to stop. The idea of silence was almost scary. What would I do without my phone? What would I think about if there were no distractions? It felt like stepping into an unknown land. But a small voice inside me whispered that I needed to try. I needed to find some quiet. This journey into silence is not about escaping the world. It is about finding a deeper connection with it. Let us explore this path together. The first step was the hardest, yet the simplest. It was turning off my phone. It sounds easy, I know. But think about it. Our phones are like an extension of ourselves these days. They hold our contacts, our memories, our access to the world. Turning it off felt like cutting off a lifeline. My hand hesitated over the power button. So many what-ifs flooded my mind. What if someone needs me? What if I miss something important? What if I get bored? I took a deep breath. I reminded myself why I was doing this. I wanted to find peace. I wanted to hear myself think, truly think, not just react to notifications. So I pressed the button. The screen went dark, and just like that, a part of the world went silent. It was a conscious choice. A deliberate act of letting go of the external, to make space for the internal. This small action felt like a big commitment, a promise to myself to stay present in this experience. The initial moments after the phone went off were interesting. There was a strange mix of relief and anxiety. The first day of silence began with a surprising sense of peace. The world outside my window seemed brighter. The sounds of nature, like birds singing or the wind rustling leaves, became clearer. Without the usual morning routine of checking emails and social media, my mind felt spacious. It was like a room that had been cluttered for years, suddenly cleared out. I could breathe more deeply. I could notice the small things. The way the sunlight fell on the floor, the taste of my simple breakfast. This was a gentle start. This initial peace was wonderful. I thought, this silence thing is easy. I should have done this ages ago. I felt calm and centered. My thoughts flowed gently, like a slow-moving river. I read a book. I went for a walk. I simply sat and observed my surroundings. There was no rush, no pressure. It felt like a vacation for my mind. A much-needed rest from the constant demands of modern life. I savored these moments of tranquility, thinking this was how the entire week would unfold. However, this honeymoon phase with silence did not last very long. By the afternoon of the second day, a different feeling started to creep in. The third and fourth days were a real struggle. My mind was in full rebellion mode. It craved distraction like a thirsty person craves water. Every little thing became a potential escape. I would find myself staring at a crack in the wall for an unusually long time. Or I would replay old conversations in my head over and over again. The urge to pick up my phone, even though I knew it was off and put away, was incredibly strong. It was a physical craving, a deep-seated habit fighting for survival. This mental agitation was exhausting. My thoughts raced. One moment I'd be thinking about an unfinished task from work. The next I'd be worrying about something someone said to me weeks ago. Then, a random song would get stuck in my head, playing on a loop. It was like a noisy, unruly crowd had taken up residence in my mind. I understood then why we seek distractions so readily. It's often to escape this inner chaos. The digital noise we consume helps to drown out our own mental noise, but it never truly silences it. I found myself bargaining. Section 5. Echoes in the Quiet. A journey through past and present emotions. As the mental chatter began to slowly subside, something else emerged from the quiet. Emotions. Lots of them. It was like the silence had opened a doorway to a hidden chamber within my heart. Memories from my childhood, both happy and sad, came flooding back with vivid clarity. I remembered moments of joy, moments of disappointment, and moments of fear. These were not just fleeting thoughts. They were accompanied by the full force of the emotions I had felt back then. It was an intense emotional roller coaster. I found myself reflecting on my life's journey, the highs and the lows, the successes and the failures, the relationships that had nurtured me, and those that had caused pain. In the busyness of daily life, I had often pushed these feelings aside. I had told myself I was too busy to deal with them. Or I had simply numbed them with distractions, but here in the silence, there was no escape. I had to feel them, I had to acknowledge them. Section 6. The Still Point, Finding Clarity Amidst the Inner Chaos. Around the 5th day, something began to shift. The intense waves of emotion started to calm down. The mental chatter, though still present at times, was much quieter. It was like the storm inside me was finally passing. And in its wake, a profound sense of stillness began to emerge. This was not the superficial peace of the first day. This was a deeper, more resilient calm. It felt like I had reached the eye of the storm, a still point amidst all the previous chaos. This pivotal moment was not dramatic. It was a gentle unfolding. I found myself simply sitting, breathing, and feeling a sense of quiet presence. My mind was clear. My heart was open. There was no urge to do anything, no craving for distraction. I was content to just be. Section 7. A New Dawn. Insights born from profound stillness. The 6th and 7th days were filled with this newfound clarity and peace. It felt like an awakening. The world around me seemed more vibrant, more alive. I noticed details I had never seen before. The intricate patterns on a leaf, the way light danced on water. My senses were heightened. My appreciation for the simple beauties of life deepened. It was as if I was seeing the world with fresh eyes, like a child experiencing everything for the first time. This was a beautiful and humbling experience. In this state of profound stillness, insights began to flow effortlessly. I understood myself better. I saw my strengths and weaknesses with more compassion. I recognized patterns in my behavior that were holding me back, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose. It wasn't about discovering some grand new mission in life. It was more about understanding how to live my current life with more intention, more meaning, and more joy. Section 8. The Unveiling, the True Self Found in Silence. The 7 days of silence culminated in a powerful realization. It was the unveiling of my true self. Not the self that is shaped by societal expectations or external pressures, not the self that is constantly striving and seeking validation, but the authentic self, the core essence of who I am. This self is calm, compassionate, and wise. It is connected to a deeper source of peace and love. Finding this self was like coming home. This true self had always been there, of course, but it was buried under layers of noise, distraction, and conditioning. The silence acted like a gentle hand, brushing away these layers one by one. It allowed me to see beyond my ego, beyond my fears, and beyond my limiting beliefs. It helped me to connect with my inner observer, the part of me that can witness my thoughts and emotions without getting carried away by them. This was a profound shift in perspective. The benefits of this stillness and introspection were immense. Section 9. Your Turn to Listen. Integrating stillness into daily life. As my 7 days of silence came to an end, I felt a mix of emotions. I was grateful for the profound experience. I was excited to integrate these lessons into my daily life. But I also knew that returning to the world of noise would be a challenge. The key, I realized, was not to escape the world, but to bring the stillness I had found within me into the world. To carry that inner peace with me, no matter how busy or noisy life gets. You don't need to go on a 7-day silent retreat to experience the benefits of stillness. You can start small. Try dedicating just 1 day, or even a few hours, to silence and introspection. Turn off your phone. Find a quiet place. Allow yourself to simply be. Notice your thoughts. Feel your emotions. Listen to your inner voice. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but if you stay with it, you will discover a depth within you that you never knew existed. Integrating stillness into daily life can take many forms. It could be a few minutes of meditation each morning. It could be a silent walk in nature. It could be mindfully savoring a cup of tea without any distractions. The goal is to create regular moments of quiet in your day. Moments when you can disconnect from the external noise and connect with your inner self. These small moments can make a big difference in your overall well-being and clarity.